Hello and welcome. So what exactly is LAM? Up till last year, September 2026, I never heard of it. And when it was introduced to me, saying that is what I have, and then followed by, it is very rare, and there's no cure. Well, that was a good morning, how are you? So it kind of sat in my head, and then I spat it out and pretended they weren't talking to me. What it does is it affects the lungs. So breathing becomes very labored. So many people, I guess, who have gone undiagnosed as LAM have been probably coined with COPD or asthma. I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a medical practitioner. I'm doing this video because there's not a lot out there. And when they say a lot of cases have gone undiagnosed, I thought, well, why not? People are more on the internet these days and they're looking around for information. Well, I couldn't find too much, which is probably a good thing. LAM, I couldn't even begin to explain to you how to pronounce it, which is probably another good thing. My mind, like most minds, if you feed it enough information, it usually creates what you're saying. So when you say that you're sick, then guess what? You become sick. And you read, or the incredible thing with TV, or at least when people watched a lot of TV with commercials, they would go and describe exactly the symptoms of whatever it was they were creating, this incredible medication. So what happened with a lot of people, they would hear that and they would say, well, I have that. Oh, and that's true too. I have that too. So then they keep going, playing it out in their mind, talking about it, saying they have it. And then the body, not to disappoint you, creates it for you. So it is a blessing in a way that there's not a lot of information. I read a few things, but I stopped when it got too horrific. I said, no, I'm not reading this shit. Not for me. I don't have it. And the other good thing about it too, I guess, is because so many cases have gone undiagnosed, the people that do have it are forced to look for alternative healing, which in a way is really beneficial, because then people are reaching out to naturopaths and herbalists. For me, well, at least what I was told and how they knew that it was LAM is because of the cysts in the kidneys. That's where the first sign shows up. And my left kidney had a 5-centimeter cyst, and they were concerned that something needed to be done because they didn't want it to burst. I said, well, neither would I. So I had to do a procedure, which ended up injecting something into the cyst, and they left a copper coil in the kidney. And then I had a CAT scan 6 months later, and it's almost disappeared. So that worked. But they want me to do more CAT scans, and I'm saying no. I said, because that's radiation. So I said no. I said, let's start with an ultrasound in 6 months' time, and if something shows up that doesn't look right, then I'll consider it. I know they're all trying their best to help me out, but I need to protect the body and need to save it from any radiation. I ended up in hospital in February because I had somewhat the flu that ended up in the lungs, and the lungs were already compromised, so getting the flu practically took my lights out. And in hospital, because no one knew what LAM was, and by the time 10 days into the hospital, people were checking it out, doctors were checking it out, trying to figure out what it is, and I guess speaking with other people and finding out that there's not too many places that really have done any in-depth studying about it. So in doing this video, it's more for information, because that's what we have to do. We have to really, I need to be on top of what is put into this body. What are they injecting? What is it supposed to do? And then if it doesn't feel right to me, if it doesn't feel right when I'm hearing it, then it's an indication that it's not for me and it's not what the body wants. So a couple of times they wanted to do things and I just said no. One of them was they wanted to do an MRI, and I said, well, what for? They said, well, on your brain. I said, well, as far as I'm concerned, my brain's working fine. I don't want any more shit in my body. If I have an issue with my brain, I'll let you know. Because that's the stages that it goes. The lungs, I've seen the x-rays. They're little pockets of cysts. That's the lungs. It's pockets. It's not a lung. So that's why the breathing becomes very labored. And even now, speaking is a bit labored for me. I really am doing my best not to take any medication. I have started to do breathing exercises every day for 10 minutes. They give you a bunch of examples of breathing exercises on the internet, which basically strengthens the muscle of the lungs, increases capacity of breathing. Is it working? I don't know. The last couple of days it's been a bit of a labor breathing. I'm also affected by energies. So the energies that come onto this planet seem to feed through me. It's almost like I'm a beacon, gatekeeper of energies. So when all these energies amp up, so does the body. And I was saying to someone the other day, it's like someone is moving around every organ in my body. And I think the lungs get the brunt of it. So dealing with that and LAM, I'm in great shape. So 2 thoughts, or maybe 3 thoughts. I will probably do a few more videos. If somebody has questions for me, you can just put them in the comments and I will do the best to answer them. But as I said, I'm not a doctor, or I don't even work in that field. I'm very tuned into my body and I respect it. And everything's given to me for a reason, including this. And I think this is probably the most powerful thing of all, is that because of all the inner work, healing work that I do, I have chosen not to be a victim to this. And I'm respecting where the body is and doing what I can to help the body get back on its feet, so to speak. But that's a whole different video. But what I would like to share is that if you have cysts in your kidneys, then ask your doctor to go online and look up LAM before they take out your kidneys. The doctor the radiologist I had seen in Victoria, BC, he knew exactly what to do. So I guess they're running into it more and they're becoming more aware. I find the younger doctors seem to know more. I don't know why, I guess because they're just coming, they're not in the medical industry for a long time, so they're fresh. Their mind is more open to other alternatives and looking like what is exactly going on here. So, if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, it's going to be it is an interesting journey for me. I never thought my life would be this way, but it is. And possibly mosquitoes are crazy here, which is unusual. Hopefully there's some type of forum or group of support group that we could create. I have no idea. I'm just, thinking as I go along. So there you have it. Oh. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll get through this one way or the other.